Hi. So I don't really know. I have no plan today. Not that I normally do. Of what I'm going to talk about, but it's quite a significant day today for me. It's 2 years ago to the day since since I last spoke to my mum. She phoned me in a fit of rage, literally screaming down the phone, and shouted at me, said all these horrible things, and that was that. And this happened. I'm so numb, aren't I, talking about it? It's happened so many times in my life that it's like, don't ever talk to me again. But anyway, this time, on the 14th of June, she died. So it was the ultimate, really. It was shit, really shit. And she was battling a lot of demons. She had a lot of stuff not dealt with from her past, and she never dealt with it. She never accepted that her way of responding was not normal. She never took any responsibility for any of it. It was all like, oh, well, this happened to me, and he did this, and they did that, and it was never her fault. And what I'm learning with this course is it's not about seeing it as a fault, because there are things that happen to us that are out of our control, particularly when we're children. So taking responsibility isn't about going, oh, it's all me, it's all my fault, it's all me, I need to change, it's all down to, it's not that sense of like there's something wrong in you. It's about looking at patterns, looking at a way of life and thinking, this just isn't serving me. I've tried it, I've tried all these different strategies, and it's just not working. So I'm not at fault, but I can be different, and I can look at the reasons why I feel the way I do and try and do that differently. And that's what this course is allowing, is that kind of a different way of looking at myself, without the guilt, without beating up, without making out that I'm a bad person, without having to look back and think, oh my God, you were such an idiot, and what did you do that for, and all that normal stuff. Of course, what that does is bring in a whole set of anxiety about things that you can't change. And then what do? We do whatever our strategy is. So for me, it was drinking or smoking weed, having sex. I look back over the last 30 years and I think, it becomes clear. I left home, went to university, and that was when my behaviours really kicked in, because suddenly I was out of that environment where I literally had to just hold it all in and survive. I was out of the direct environment, and suddenly I had this, I was just me, I could just function out in the world. And and the way I dealt with it, really, for 30 years, I've been using these quite destructive behaviour patterns to quell that kind of anxiety, that flutter, the flutter and the rush of like heat that comes with facing reality, I suppose. So anyway, this week, again, I had another episode at the weekend where I was drinking and I reacted in a way I shouldn't have done. I didn't. Don't get me wrong, I didn't punch somebody or anything. I fell out with a friend. The weekend before that, I was drinking and said something to somebody in a pub about my sister, and her reaction just made me burst into tears. The weekend before that I was drinking, made an idiot of myself. I think I probably didn't, but all I do is beat myself up. Anyway, this week I thought, right, that's it, I'm not drinking anymore. And this course, it feels like I'm starting to kind of allow myself to see and listen to my body and my feelings without having to numb them. Because before, obviously they come out, they're there, and that anxiety that that comes in, it needs numbing. It's not nice. And but what I'm learning from what Tricia says is actually it's about soothing the body. It's about learning new ways of soothing yourself by linking your body and your mind together, not by drinking or taking drugs or I'm not going to diss medication, because that's obviously an okay way to progress, but for me, I hit a point in the last 2 weeks and I thought, perhaps I need medication, perhaps I can't do this anymore. And actually what it was is I was drinking, and I was the come down is worse than the anxiety that led me there. You know, the sense of guilt and the panic and the regret and all of that is much worse than what I'm actually trying to address at the moment. So anyway, bit of a waffle this morning. I'm on day 3 of the new sober me. I sound terrible, don't I? I've done 3 days many times. I quite often would go 3 or 4 days in the week and not have a drink. Then the weekend kicks in and I drink. Not anymore, especially when the kids weren't here. I just literally, whole weekend, I only remembered probably half of it. It's terrible. Waking up in the morning, looking at your phone, thinking, what did I do? Did I send any messages? Did I put anything on? Oh God, what did I do? Awful. Awful. But I'm admitting it. I've spent years going, no, it's fine. No, I'm alright. But I'm not an alcoholic in the sense that I need alcohol to survive every day, but I have a problem with alcohol. I use alcohol as a crutch. And I want to be different. I want to have different relationships. I don't want to have a relationship that's built on the fact that we get pissed together. I don't want to have days where I have a dead day at work because I just can't think straight because I'm so hungover, or I'm craving crap food because my body's just depleted. But it takes your mind off all the other stuff, doesn't it? But not now. I'm looking the serpent in the eye now, and it's feeling all right. It's been hard, but it's feeling all right. So minute at a time, hour at a time, day at a time. Take care.